Meet Keith, loving dad, board game champ, bus driving pro.
I drive 65,000 miles in my bus each year. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. Like how there are some things I simply can't see. On my route the other day, a car tried to sneak past me and ends up right in my blind spot. I turned slowly, so accident avoided. But no car should be in the blind spot for a 40,000-pound bus. It's our roads. It's our safety.
Visit www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
Good morning, DJ and PK. It's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Welcome in on a Thursday morning. Well, we got a little college sports news here as we track towards the start of college football. The news breaking yesterday that the Mountain West Conference and the Pac-12 have come to a settlement over the poaching of teams, including Utah State University. They've come to a little settlement here. It's going to be about $10 million per team, a little less than that reportedly. And they withheld money last year from the distribution. So really now they got to write a check for about a couple $1 million. And with that, they can move on. Their exit fees ranging from 19 to 38 million bucks. So there's some money headed to the Mountain West. It could have been more. They found the middle ground, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. And there you go. And now Aggies can turn the page, move on, and figure out how are they going to compete in the Pac-12? How are they going to build things up? That is a question facing everyone. Is CSU and Utah State and San Diego State, Fresno State, Boise State, all leaving the Mountain West, heading to the Pac-12 to join Oregon State and Washington State and Texas State, which is a team that, off my radar here, off most of our radars here. We followed Oregon State and Washington State in the Pac-12 and followed the Mountain West. So you kind of have an idea about these other 7 programs. But I have read an interesting story about Texas State. There's money. They're actually in a pretty good population center. San Antonio and Austin are about an hour apart. They're in between. And that area is just booming and growing together. So a lot of people, a lot of players, a lot of money. Now, the San Antonio Spurs are there in San Antonio, obviously. The University of Texas is obviously in Austin. And there's other stuff going on. I mean, UTSA is down there, and Major League Soccer is down there. But then there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of people with money down there. It'll be interesting to see if Texas State can just add water, stir, and really jump up in the league. Utah State getting things going. Bronco Mendenhall meeting with the media. For you Aggie fans, let's listen into Bronco. A couple minutes with the media right here on the Zone.
Anything that stood out to you with this being the first practice of fall camp?
I think that we reflected maturity, experience, and seasoning. It didn't feel like the first practice. It felt like maybe the third week in fall camp. I can't speak to the execution specifically because I haven't seen the film. But in terms of, it feels like the second year of a program rather than the first. And it feels like, again, a more methodical, seasoned, prepared football program at this stage.
Yeah, and that was going to be my second question, just how today felt as opposed to a year ago.
It was interesting. In relation to a year ago, so much was new, and that increases anxiety. There's uncertainty. The player's not sure how the flow will work, what the tempo looks like, what the corrections look like, and really reinforcing the standard. Robert and I, our offensive coordinator, again, for those that he's new to our program, but he and I have worked together. At one point during the season, we just stopped. I walked by him, and he stopped, and I stopped, and he said, "Man, this is tight. This is efficient. Feels like we're halfway through the year." And again, that's somewhat of an exaggeration, but that was the feeling today. If this was just a continuation of last season where we finished.
What have you seen in terms of growth? What's been the biggest growth in your program from last year to now?
I think poise and confidence. There's confidence that can happen that can't be or struggle to be executed with precision, especially in critical moments. And I thought we managed those about 50-50 last year. Of the 4 really close games we had, 2 managed well, 2 not quite what we needed to do. And so I think I would just add the word poise to the experience is what I felt today and what I see.
Are there any benchmarks you're going to try to accomplish with this team over the next 4 weeks of fall camp?
Really most of our approach is repetition driven, and So we know what deliberate practice looks like. We know the number of repetitions a quarterback needs to get ready. We know the number of repetitions you need to tackle to truly be ready just over the time that I've coached. So there's benchmarks we have. And then there's metrics in those situations where we know, gosh, much like the season, what yards per play has to look like, right? What efficiency has to look like, what the big plays need to look like, etc. And so those will be kind of being tracked as metrics in situations where they fit as we're hitting the other benchmarks that we need.
There is Bronco Mendenhall. When we come back, we will go to BYU practice. Kalani Sitake meeting with the media. We'll hear from Isaiah Glasker and LJ Martin next. Stay with us.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Good morning, DJ and PK. It's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Well, Monday, the Utes kicked things off. PK and I were up there. Aggies had their media day Tuesday. Scotty G broadcasting live from Logan with Tim Lacombe. And Wednesday, it was BYU getting underway. Nice of everybody to take their own day, own their own day. PK and I and Jake were all down there yesterday. Kalani Sitake meeting with the media, along with LJ Martin and Isaiah Glasker. Let's start with the star linebacker. Here's Isaiah Glasker.
How was the first day? I think the team's looking good so far. I know our defense stacks, so it's going to be fun getting back out here and playing with these guys.
What's it like having Kelly Papinga as the defensive coordinator?
I definitely say he's an intense guy, but it's I don't know, I feel like you learn something new every day from him, and I feel like especially being as a linebacker, it's like he was a linebacker, and I'm just excited for the season to come. So
Jay Hill was pretty hands-on. How was he in relation to how Jay was?
Yeah, like I love Jay Hill. He was a great coach. He was, like you said, super hands-on. I feel like with Jay Hill, he was more of like a safeties type of guy. He was hands-on with the safeties, and then you get Kelly Papinga, like I said, linebacker guy. So it's, I don't know, you learn a lot from him. So.
What do you say about the team's mentality coming into camp?
I feel like really just the same thing. We take it day by day, and then when the season comes, it's going to be game after game. So really just trying to get our things together and, dominate this season. So.
What are your expectations?
Right now, it's just win our first game. That's all I can really say.
Does it feel weird to be back out here? Because I know last year you were planning on being maybe in the NFL this time last year.
Yeah, definitely, yeah, for sure. But I'm excited to be able to run it back and hopefully go get that national championship. So.
Yeah, your cousin's on this team. Have you had a chance to go up against him yet?
Shoot, I'm just waiting to get those pads on and give him that welcome to college football moment.
Where do you feel like the defense's biggest strength is this year?
I feel like there's not really one specific. You got guys up front with Keanu, and then you got guys the back end solid, Falatau, Satwala, Raider. Like really all those guys can play, and then just our linebackers. It's really any guy can go in and make a play at any time. So really, just I feel like everyone has it. So
will that front be able to put pressure on quarterbacks without your help?
Shoot, I feel like they can do it themselves. Really, if anything, they're going to open it up for me. So I'm excited.
It seems like the defense has a lot of ball hawks returning this year. What does that mean for your ability as a team to create turnovers? Because I know that's kind of been the calling card the last couple of seasons, and you guys have been right there at the top of the Big 12 in terms of getting those takeaways.
I would say really it's nice just because, especially as a linebacker coming off the edge, it's always nice when the quarterback drops back there and he's just putting the ball. So I don't know, a little bit easier to get sacks, and I feel like we got those guys like Trey Alexander, Evan Johnson, these guys who can just lock down. So I'm excited.
How good can Justin Kirkland be?
I've never seen a dude like that before. Him and Keanu together, you're in for a long movie.
Being such a leader on this team, just what can you say? What do you think the identity of this group in 2026 will be?
I would say really just to make plays, and I feel like we're the hard-working team, and I know I've seen over the offseason, dudes are taking that extra step, so hopefully we can just show it on the field this season.
There's Isaiah Glasker now. Here's running back L.J. Martin.
You led the Big 12 in rushing last year. What do you do for an encore this year?
Yeah, I mean, we're not really worried about stats or anything. We're just really worried about wins, and yeah, I mean, every time I'm trying to touch the ball, the goal is a touchdown, so yeah, I mean, if I'm doing my part, we should win, and I'll have whatever I need.
What was accomplished today in day one?
Yeah, a lot was accomplished, just going out there, just getting back familiar with the playbook and just competing again. So it was good for us just to come out here and get to competing again.
How much of a workload is maybe the first team offense, taking on in camp? Because with so much experience, are you guys just kind of pacing yourselves for the battles of the season? Or are you guys kind of in the thick of it already?
No, yeah, I would say we're in the thick of it already. Yeah, we want to do a lot. We're trying to get ready, but also there is the happy medium of getting ready to have a long season. So I would say we're trying to do as much as we can while also being smart.
LJ, what were your impressions of the new running back? I think his name's Journey Tonga.
Mm-hmm.
Was he out here today, and what were your impressions of him?
Yeah, Journey was out here. He did well. He's a young guy. He knows the playbook pretty well already for someone his age, so I'm really impressed. And, I think he'd be really good.
Sione Moa back to his usual self in the backfield?
No, yeah, saw Sione today. He looked good. He was doing great in spring as well. So, he just picked up where he left off in spring, so I'm really excited for him.
So we haven't seen you on the field since the game before the bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel coming back out here for the first time in whatever it's been?
No, yeah, I felt great. Just a little bit of rust to be shaken off. Just have had actually people in front of me whenever I'm running the ball or just going through things. So now having someone in front of me, going against one of the guys one-on-one, it's been fun and it was fun.
When did you get fully cleared?
Yeah, I've been cleared since about early June. So yeah, a couple months now.
Do you anticipate a lighter than normal workload, just considering what you've accomplished already in your career?
I don't know. It's whatever Coach A-Rod wants to give me. So yeah, that's going to be my workload.
What have been kind of the things you've worked on to get ready for fall camp and kind of get back to where you were last year?
Yeah, just getting my shoulder back, and then as well as just trying to be better all around, just speed, strength, and just also being smarter.
What's this team's level of motivation like, and could you feel it even on day one of camp?
Yeah, I think we're real motivated. I think we're really excited to be out here. I think we're having a great time, and you see all the guys out here. We're all enjoying just being back out here competing with each other. So I think we're really excited to play football again.
Multiple of your teammates have said that you are the best tailback in the country. That comes from your quarterback. How do you take that?
Yeah, everyone has their own best tailback, and if I'm there, it's cool. If not, I'll just have to go out there and show it. So, that's, anyone's goal. You always want to be the best. If not, then why you play? So, I'm out here trying to be the best and just keep going.
With so many returning faces, this offense, what's going to be different this year, you think? What are going to be some of the characteristics that are maybe different or elements to this offense in 2026?
Yeah, I think we're going to be able to throw the ball. We threw the ball well last year, but I think it's going to be a lot better this year. We got a lot of targets coming back, and we added a lot of targets too. So I'm really excited. We got a lot of guys with a lot of ability out there. So just getting familiar right now, and and then game one we'll have to go out there and showcase it.
Any plays that stood out to you from your vantage point for the offense that caught your attention that you could share with us?
One of our receivers caught a touchdown deep down there, so I was really excited for that. And so there was that.
Who was it?
I believe it was Jared Esplin. Okay. So he's a receiver. He came over last fall, and he had a good showing, and he's been doing good spring, good during workouts, and I'm excited for him.
How much better can Bear be after a full offseason actually being here?
Yeah, he could be a lot better. Just going from high school to college, it's a whole nother jump. So he's I feel like he's gotten a lot better already, and I feel like he could take even a bigger step just, being in a college offseason and just getting used to things.
What specifically have you seen from him that's maybe different from last season?
Yeah, I would say the biggest difference is, he's just a lot familiar with the playbook, and he just knows where he's going. I feel like a lot of stuff pre-snap, he's already knowing what's going on. So I just think he got a lot better in that area.
LJ, the offensive line has big expectations this year. A lot of people saying good stuff about them. What do you see specifically where you think that they're going to be good this year?
Yeah, they just based off what they did last year. They did really well last year, and just today in practice they were opening up holes. They were doing a great job today in practice, so I'm really excited to see what they could do in games.
All right, there's running back L.J. Martin. Now let's go to the head coach, Kalani Sitake.
What was accomplished today in day one, Kalani?
Yeah, a lot of good stuff. Obviously, I'm really excited for day one. We definitely have a faster team, so I like the team speed, and then the connection, it's just good. You can see the continuity that we had from last year. It's rolling over. So the momentum on all three phases, even with some new guys there like Justin Enna with the special teams, just really happy what he's done, from January to now. And then, K-Pop's done a great job with the defense, and so the transition's been really, really good going into fall camp. And I think looking at what A-Rod's done with the offense and having Tyler there with him at the quarterbacks, it's been really nice, and it's good to have some healthy guys back to go.
Talking about continuity, how much further ahead, I guess, overall do you feel like your team is?
Yeah, I mean, we're way further ahead than we were last year, and so that's a good sign. And even with the new guys that have come in, they just, you can't even tell that they're new anymore. I mean, in spring, you can see getting used to different terminology. With guys like Cade, and it's hadn't been a problem. Those guys you can tell that the guys worked really hard in the off season. They worked really hard in the summer, and it's paid off a lot. And so, practice one. You got to stay humble and stay hungry and just keep working hard. But we're going to utilize all the time that we have from now until game one. And with practice one out of the way, I can't wait to watch the film. I'm really excited about what we did today.
Where's the most heated competition in camp?
Most heated competition? They're all heated in this heat right now. But no, but it's we encourage everybody to compete for a spot and for playing time. And we feel like we need more than 11 starters on all three phases, and we feel good about our depth. And so we're just keep improving the depth. And these guys are fighting for reps and fighting for playing time, and that's. We only play the best. That's what we do.
What's the potential for this offense with both LJ and Bareback?
Yeah, I mean, we're focused on winning games. Not really. That's the most important stat. So we'll do whatever it takes for all three phases to complement each other and put ourselves in position to get the victory. That's what we're focused on the most. And I think the stats will work out the way it's supposed to. But I like the versatility that we have. In all three phases as well, and so this should be a lot of fun this year.
Barry barely arrived this time last year going through training camp. How much different does he look this time going?
Yeah, it's what you would imagine. I mean, he's a veteran now, and he knows what he's doing. He's making corrections out there, and it's nice to see a guy that's been here, and have put in a lot of time, and so he's had a busy off-season, busy summer, and I'm just really proud of how he utilized all the time.
What's the level of confidence and comfort level like for him?
Yeah, I trust him, and I trust him and all the quarterbacks in that group because I trust who's coaching them, and we know that we don't have to rely on them to win games for us. They're capable of doing that. We can rely on all the positions.
Kalani, you're a veteran head coach. This is another year. What's your favorite part of being a head coach?
Yeah, I mean, this is my 11th year, so I don't know if that's veteran or veteran mean old. Yeah, I feel old. I've aged quite a bit, but I'm loving it. I mean, I feel really blessed and fortunate to be doing this, and so every day that I get to live this life, it's been a dream for me, and so I'm gonna do everything I can to help these young men and do what I can to represent for Cougar Nation, because I am a fan first when it all comes down to it.
I don't see Andrew Williams on the roster. Any update on him?
Andrew Williams has selected to go on a mission, and he just turned his papers in on Sunday. Really proud of him. He and I talked weeks ago, and it's been on his mind for a while, and I don't think he thought about serving a mission before, and now that he just asked if this is the right time. And the first thing is he didn't want to let the team down because he's a guy that can compete for playing time. But he was able to share his thoughts and bear his testimony on the gospel to me, and it seemed like the best field he should be on is the mission field. And Coach Woods and everybody was really happy, excited for him, and we're just really proud of him. And so he had to defer his enrollment, and we'll get his call soon, and we'll see where he's going to go. But Andrew will be elder for the next 2 years, and we're really proud of his decision to serve.
Staying with the roster personnel, is this the roster you're going to carry into the season? Because I know you were talking about kind of working parts.
There's still some moving parts on it. I think the closer we get to game one, when school starts, that's when it's got to be set. But there's still some guys that we still add to it.
With the injunction that's out there, have you given any thought to potentially adding guys that could come back?
That's been some thought, but we're really limited on the roster spots that we have. I think we have our guys that are set and that we've promised roster spots to, and so we're really just go on that first, and then there's just a bit weird timing for all that to happen, but we looked into it and saw the options and possibilities, but we have a responsibility to the people that are on the roster currently right now first.
Do you have any roster spots available on the 105? Because I know there's the DSA part, but like,
that's the one that's really difficult on the 105. Not a lot of flexibility right now, even with some of the openings that we had. We've already, you guys know, it's not like you're down on spot and then there's not anyone there. There's always a waiting list, and then there's kind of a wish list for every position coach, and so I have to listen to everybody and coordinators, and everyone should make their pitch and on who should be the next up, and that's the fun part about it, and so we'll just see what the team requires, and we don't have to make that decision just yet either, and we have to see how it's going to look with our depth and how things are looking, even scout team wise, what's going to be the best feel for our team and where we need the most help.
This is Coach Bahinga's first year as a defensive coordinator. What is it about him that gives you confidence and trust that he's really going to be a good DC?
I know K-Pop had what it took from the very beginning when I first had him on staff. And I always had a good feeling about him and his reputation from players that have played for him and guys that played for me in the NFL. Had nothing but great things to say about him. And then I watched him carefully throughout his career. And when there's an opportunity to bring him on, I'm glad that he's here. I can tell you one thing about K-Pop. He's probably the hardest working coordinator I've ever been around. And you work that hard, only good things can happen, and just really pleased with everything. I'm just have to keep reminding him doesn't have to do so much, but it's nice to have to tell somebody to ease up a little bit, but he's intense, he wants it, and I think with that type of work ethic, you can't go wrong.
Zay said he was pretty hands-on, much like Jay Hill was. Is that?
Yeah, that's. I think most of the coaches all of the coaches on the staff are going to be guys that I like, that I feel is going to be able to connect to the players, and I want this to be a player-run program, but at the same time, I want the mentors to be helping the players and being there along the way, and so. With the coaches that we have on our staff, they got to be hands-on.
What stood out from the wide receivers today in the first day of practice from your vantage point? Yeah,
the young guys are really good. The returning guys are really good too, and the timing with veteran quarterbacks that we have with Bourget and with Bear has been nice. And then seeing other guys like Enoch come along and throw, and these guys utilize their time on their play-run practices and their individual time this summer really, really well, and hanging out together and running routes, and it showed today.
Kalani, during your tenure, there's been a lot of things in college football that have changed pretty dramatically. How do you navigate all of those changes while still being the head coach when things change, whether it's from year to year, sometimes even month to month? How much of an added layer does that add to just being a coach these days?
I think you just got to adapt, and probably the moment that I'm not willing to do that is when I'm probably need to hang it up. You know what I mean? So, listen, whatever happens, rules or things that you're allowed to do, we're going to always try to see if they're aligned with what we are as a university, which is aligned with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and how can we benefit from this, and how can we get these young men on our team to be the best version of themselves. If we can do that off the field in the classroom, then it should transfer over to the field. But we're still trying to figure all that stuff out, and I feel like we have a good mindset because we're focused on the right thing first. And these guys, I enjoy coaching these young men because they're the best in college football. And it's going to be a lot of fun to see what they can do and the sacrifices that they've made in the off season, and for them to reap the rewards when it comes this fall.
How are you approaching a camp with so many returning faces to get them ready for the battles of the season? Like, how are you handling those veterans? Are you creating opportunities for younger guys? Like, how are you approaching this camp, maybe strategically from that standpoint?
Everything's got to be. I think there's not a cookie cutter system anymore. It's not like even with the lifting and all that stuff. Everything has to be a little bit more specialized, and so we have a plan for the veterans that have kind of proven themselves, and what do they need to see, and how can we keep them fresh but also keep them coming along and progressing. So everybody has a range of development, And so the veterans have development, but it's a different development than the young freshmen coming in. So we have to adjust and specialize all our training, our meetings, how we do things, and what we do on the football field. And so the coaches, sports science, our trainers, our support staff, everybody involved has been really crucial to making this work, and it takes everybody getting that done. I'm just the one that gets to talk to you guys, but everybody else is doing all the work, and I've been really pleased with the entire staff and everybody that's in this building.
So to follow up on that, are you breaking out like newcomers in meetings, like how? So when they're done with practice, like how can you take us into that?
We're doing a lot of different things. I mean, otherwise, if you teach the same stuff, the guys that have already been there already know it. It falls on deaf ears. They already know. So the action is to try to get them to do the teaching, get them to be involved in it. So flipping the classroom, things like that. It's looking at a growth mindset and trying to change the classroom and how we learn. So that's the main way with the young guys, and then giving them reps. And so you have to combine that with opportunities to be on the field. And so we've been able to do that. And I thought we did a great job at it with what we did for Bear last year. So Bear still needs to develop. It's just at a different level. And then now we can complement that with everything that's going on around him.
During the media days in Texas, a lot of the coaches had very positive things to say about you, your personality, your character, and how you coach. They also do have a group chat with them. How do you maintain a relationship with those coaches and continue that throughout the season?
Well, I mean, I think you give me too much credit on that. We have amazing coaches in this conference. I've been welcomed to them when first time we had our meetings. All the coaches that were there were super warm, just kind, and the leadership in the Big 12 has been amazing. So for me to just be in there, it was a really cool environment for me to be in. And so it's like it's not anything that I've done. I'm joining a good group of men, of leaders that have done a great job, and it's pretty cool because we actually get to share thoughts and notes and talk a lot about there's only so many guys that know exactly what we're going through. So it's a really cool fraternity to be involved with and be able to be it's weird. We have to compete and we have to play against each other, but it's kind of nice to have that friendship, and it's made things a lot more enjoyable being in this conference.
There's BYU football coach Kalani Sitake. All right, we'll take a break, come back. Jay Drew joining PK and I on yesterday's show. We will get to Jay next. Stay with us.
We all have routines. I'm Jabron, and with diabetes, mine was finger sticks. Sometimes I skip them because they hurt. The Freestyle Libre 3CGM changed that. It gives me glucose insights without finger sticks. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
Finger sticks are required if your glucose alarms and readings do not match symptoms, or when you see check blood glucose symbol for the first 12 hours. The views expressed should not be used for medical diagnosis or treatment as a substitute for professional medical advice. Individual circumstances may vary. For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
When she said I don't dance now, I make money moves, that was a mission statement for a whole new generation.
Respect, but that's not the Mount Rushmore. Listen, cash rules everything around me. When that line dropped, it changed the whole hustle. The greatest tracks are never finished. They're just debated forever. Introducing the Sprite Living Track List. 50 tracks that shape the culture from 6 decades of hip-hop. Scan the QR code on a Sprite or Sprite Zero Sugar to see the full breakdown. Obey your thirst. Sprite.
Meet Keith, loving dad, board game champ, bus driving pro.
I drive 65,000 miles in my bus each year. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. Like how there are some things I simply can't see. On my route the other day, a car tried to sneak past me and ends up right in my blind spot. I turned slowly, so I accidentally avoided. But no car should be in the blind spot for a 40,000-pound bus. It's our roads. It's our safety.
Visit www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
Good morning, DJ and PK. It's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jay Drew, longtime writer for the Salt Lake Tribune, now the Deseret News, and he covered high schools for a long time. He's been on the BYU beat for close to a couple decades now. He joined us during yesterday's show before he went to the opening day of practice. And so some of the time references are a little off, but the issues are the same. These are the storylines people are following as we get ready to jump into what ought to be an intriguing season. Here is Jay Drew with PK and I on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. What are you most looking forward to hearing and talking about? What's at the top of your to-do list?
Oh, boy. Unlike most years, there's just not anything that really stands out or is a main storyline, or like last year, obviously, with the quarterback situation and The year before, probably the same thing. This year, there's really nothing that really kind of jumps out. I guess the biggest thing would be the new coaches. Kelly Papinga is the new defensive coordinator. They brought in Lewis Walker and DeMario Warren to coach the secondary. So I would guess that would be probably the biggest question mark. How are they going to replace Jay Hill and all that he brought to the program, and Gennaro Guilford? So that would probably be, I guess, the biggest thing. I know that's not juicy, and that's nothing to do really with the actual players themselves, but that's the thing that I guess stands out the most for me.
I've been reading the stuff in the Deseret News as they profile each of the teams. And so BYU's going into this season with high expectations for a lot of folks. It's get to the conference title game, get to the playoff, and go from there. And probably a worthy goal at this point. How do you think BYU stacks up relative to the competition and the main competitors in the Big 12?
Yeah, I think there's, even with Texas Tech's quarterback situation, I still think they're the most talented team, the best team with the best, off-season acquisitions out of the transfer portal and the best returning players coming back. So I think Texas Tech is probably still a cut above everybody. I would group BYU, Utah, Arizona in kind of a little second tier. I'm probably leaving out one other team that
K-State maybe, TCU.
Oh yeah, or Houston. I think
Houston.
A lot of people are talking about Houston. So, but I think BYU's right there. I was really impressed last year with how Utah finished, and with the bowl game. And I know they got a new coach, but I really like Utah's quarterback situation. I think Utah's got the better quarterback situation than any team in the conference, including BYU and including Texas Tech, with basically two guys that are, you can rely on. So, but anyway, I would put those teams right there. And as you look at the season, I think the one thing you really got to consider is Texas Tech has a pretty easy schedule. As far as their conference games, they don't have to play BYU or Utah. Most of their tough games are at home, so I think you got to really consider that. And then looking at BYU, there's some definite landmines out there for BYU that I don't know if fans are really paying attention to. For instance, BYU, after they play Notre Dame, has to go to UCF, and UCF has a bye the week that BYU is playing Notre Dame. That's got to be a tough one. BYU has to go to TCU, where they've never really – I think they've won one game there in 20 years. And so that's another thing you got to consider is not only who are the best teams, but who have the most favorable schedules.
PK was at that TCU win. He remembers it well. He's got stories.
Oh, I was Jay Drew before Jay Drew.
See?
Yeah. And don't forget Rhiannon Potke.
How can I forget Rhiannon Potke? It's at the tip of my tongue at all times.
Absolutely.
You've written a lot leading up here to the opening, and people can go into the Deseret News, go to Deseret.com and read it. One headline will catch everybody's eye. Is it college football playoff or bust for BYU football in 2026? Given how good they've been the last 2 years, as you cite in the story, 23-4, and given the fact that Kalani had serious interest from Penn State, and people thought they were going, and BYU ponied up even more resources to make football better. Does the answer to that question have to be yes?
I don't necessarily think so. That's a tough one. I mean, a lot of crazy things could happen. I would say if Bear Bachmeier plays every game, if he's healthy, then I think there's no excuses. They've set up for this. They're on the track for this. But, things can happen where you've got to give them the benefit of the doubt. Ironically, I wrote almost that exact same headline before the basketball season. I said, is it Final Four or bust for BYU basketball? And everybody knows how that turned out. So it was bust, basically. And so with football, obviously with basketball, the reason I bring that up is that, they had the injuries to Richie Saunders at the end of the year, kind of derailed that. So I think you have to leave that kind of window open if something unforeseen happens, and especially at BYU, and we'll probably get into this in a minute, but beyond Bear Bachmeier, I think if there's, speaking of another big question for BYU, it's a backup quarterback. They're just not really anybody outside of Bachmeier who has played that much in a college football game, and so that's another huge thing to consider. And I'm sure as they work with Bear throughout the season, they'll obviously a big emphasis will be on sliding, running out of bounds, just avoiding injury at all costs.
Outside of injury, what do you think would keep potentially BYU out of the conference title game? Meaning, what are their weaknesses?
Yeah, I'm still not sold on the receiver position. I know every time you talk to Aaron Roderick or Fesi Sitake or Kalani, they think they're okay at receiver. I don't. I'm not sold yet on the Kyler Casper they brought in from Oregon, mostly because he didn't play that much at Oregon. I'm not sold yet on JoJo Phillips. They've talked about potential every year with him, and he just never seems to break out. I know last year he was injured. He had the broken collarbone, so that set him back. But I think it's just a huge loss that, obviously Chase Roberts ran out of eligibility. Parker Kingston, that situation's been well documented. Cody Hagan retired medically from football. I just don't see BYU having a go-to receiver and or a guy that can take the top off of defenses consistently, a speedster, a burner. JoJo Phillips might be that guy, but he just hasn't proven it yet. Tiger Bachmeier might be that guy, but he didn't have a great year last year. So that would be the number one question is just do they have a playmaker outside of L.J. Martin on that offense?
How about that freshman from Lehigh?
Yeah, I've heard a lot about him. Legend Glasker, cousin of linebacker Isaiah Glasker. He had a great spring. We didn't get to see a lot of it. We'll have to take their word for it for a lot of that. But yeah, he's a good one. But I mean, he's a true freshman. Very rarely do you see a true freshman step in at receiver. I mean, I know Austin Collie way back in your day, Patrick, was a great receiver as a freshman right out of the gates. But yeah, I just can't think of any others that have been that great right out of the gate for BYU.
Do you believe special teams, if they're in close games, if special teams, especially place kicking, but all of them, we've seen teams lose games on punt returns and block punts. Are they going to be good or are they going to be great?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be great, and they're going to replace Will Farron and Sam Vanderhaar as their kicker and punter with guys that are just unproven and untested. So I mean, the jury's still out on that, and that'll be a big point of emphasis here in camp is to give those guys a lot of work, a lot of game experience and game situations. And speaking of Parker Kingston, they're really going to miss him. He was a great punt returner. He returned 2 or 3 punts for touchdowns for BYU in his career. He was also a little bit of a wild card back there. He did have a few drops and made some questionable decisions, but that's another area, kick returner and punt returner, where they really don't have a proven guy doing that. So special teams is a huge question mark. You got Justin Anna coming in to replace Kelly Papinga as the special teams coordinator. Papinga was really good at that. I think he's probably underrated as a special teams coordinator. And I'm not saying that there'll be a big drop-off, and Justin Anna has done it before at other places such as Utah State. But you're right, David. That's a big question mark is special teams.
I think part of the deal of a coordinator is getting the kids to believe in what you say is gospel. And I've seen that. I've seen it on both ends where they didn't believe anything you said, and they did believe what you said. And Jay Hill was one in which they definitely believed in what he said. what do you think the acclimation period is going to be for Kelly Poppinga now running the defense? Because, and I know he's got assistants there and special assistants, whatever you call them. But in the moment, it's going to come down to what he's thinking there and then how much the kids believe in it and be able to execute it.
Yeah, that's a good point you bring up. I think the fact that they were able to retain a lot of those defensive guys, and they even kept some of those guys away from Michigan, like a Faletau Satuala, the kid from Bountiful. Others had opportunities to go elsewhere. And I think it was really telling that they did stay when Kelly Poppinga was made defensive coordinator. To me, and, I'm not in the meetings. I'm not obviously there at a lot of the practices and all that. But to me, that was a pretty good sign that these guys are on board with Kelly. From everything we've heard in at the golf outing the last couple of days and throughout the off season, is these guys really like Lewis Walker, the cornerbacks coach that they brought in basically to replace Gennaro Guilford. It seems to me every player I've talked to really, really likes him. DeMario Warren is kind of Kelly Poppinga's guy, a guy that Kelly really wanted to bring in. He worked with him at Boise State. Of course, DeMario was the former Southern Utah coach. So I think the players really like this defensive coaching staff, and I think that means a lot.
Jay Drew joining us, BYU kicking off camp today. Do you see the investment that they put in the team directly? Is it obvious? Sometimes when they invest in programs, it's really obvious and you can see it. You see it happen and you see the energy they get from it. Other times it's more behind the scenes. Can you put your finger on what's happened? Because that was such a big offseason with Kalani staying and the offer from Penn State in the match. Can you see how that's already moving the program forward, or is that one of those things that maybe you don't see until you see the results down the line?
Yeah, I can't really point to anything outward and say, yeah, that's a definite, sign right there. I guess, maybe a cynic would say, well, why weren't they able to keep Jay Hill? Why weren't they able to put up more money to keep him from Michigan? But from everything I've heard, and you guys have heard the same thing or maybe not, that Jay was pretty much going to go to Michigan. The money wasn't a factor for him. When Kyle got that job, it was kind of always Jay Hill's dream, maybe to work with Kyle again and to go to a big-time blue blood program. So, maybe no amount of money would have – that's what I've heard anyway, that no amount of money would have kept him in Provo. But as far as other outward, like, signals or signs or anything, I can't sit here and say that I've seen anything yet. I mean, obviously, we'll probably know more over the course of the next month or two. But, yeah, I can't really point to anything and say, oh, yeah, that's where kind of an influx of money or resources has taken place.
The BYU golf tournament for the media was last week. I don't know where you finished, Jay, in your group, but the only thing I know is you didn't finish first.
Did you read my article? I'm just wondering because I haven't heard from you. I literally put your name in my article as the team that won.
I got it up on the wall at home. I sent it to all my family.
Oh, I just thought, the minute that thing hits the interwebs, I'll be hearing from PK. But no, no, we were not good. We were we were below middle of the pack, but not rock bottom. Let's put it that way.
You weren't bombing them like you usually do?
No, I'm too old for that. No, we. I'll say this: we stuck to media members for our team, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Oh, accusations of a ringer? Is that what I'm hearing? A little passive aggressive?
Oh, wait! You're complaining now that you got beat by a girl?
Absolutely, and then the Mitch Harper. I mean, I'm interviewing. I'm asking him, "Hey, who was on your team?" And he's like, "Telling me guys I've never heard of." And I'm like, "Who's that?" And he goes, "Oh, that's my brother-in-law." I'm like, "Good grief! How did they let that team sneak on there?"
Well, we had two media guys who bailed on me, so what the heck?
Yeah, no, I'm not pointing fingers. I'm congratulations.
I mean, if you're going to point fingers, you might as well give Jackie top billing. I'm reading it right now. You gave PK top billing. Jackie was second, but PK is painted as the star.
I can't wait till it cools down. I'm going to just revel in that blanket from Minky Couture.
Was it a BYU blanket? I didn't get a good look at it.
I don't know.
Oh, you haven't opened it yet?
Actually, it is opened, and it's on a spare bed right now. I saw it, but it's folded, so I haven't looked at it. I heard it was supposed to be, but I don't know. And I'll wear it with pride. I'll use it with pride. Absolutely. I'm not like you. I don't hate BYU.
Oh, we had to go there, didn't we? Oh, starting out the season just right, just perfect.
Hey, it's just the fact that you protect BYU. We need to know who got the golf cart stuck. You wouldn't name names, Jay. This is this is you protecting BYU. So you've got that going for you. You can be hated for protecting BYU and hating BYU at the same time. Join the club.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to throw one kid under the bus. So,
Did you know that Jay Drew had the unique experience of playing the same golf course without leaving on 2 separate days?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, and I was in Alaska during the summer solstice in June 21st, I think it was, and teed off at one day and finished the next because it's there's only 4 hours of darkness up there or the summer solstice. So, yeah,
Man.
That was kind of a fun little thing to do.
The phrase "I'd like a late tea time" carries new meaning, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's absolutely. And a funny thing about that, when I went to tee off, they said, or when I signed in, they said, you'll need bear spray because there's so many bears. This was in Anchorage, Alaska, and they everybody has to buy bear spray. And then the guy said, if you hit the ball into the woods, just don't go get it for 2 reasons. 1, bears, obviously, and 2, poison oak.
You've convinced me.
So, guys, I lost 9 golf balls on that 18 holes. 9 golf balls because I took them dead serious, man. I wasn't taking one step into those woods.
Do you remember that one time we were up at Wasatch Mountain and you were looking for a ball by the woods and a deer jumped out and it just scared the crap out of you?
Yep. I'm afraid of my own shadow.
And I'm over there laughing like crazy.
Oh, man. Can't take you anywhere, PK. It'll come back to haunt me.
All right, Jay, I think we've done enough damage here. PK's work is done. We will let you go. Go enjoy day 1 of yet another college football camp.
Yep, my 19th for covering BYU, so It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah. Now, how many years did you cover the high schools for? Because it seems like you're way past it now.
About 14, yeah.
Okay.
I think I was around 14 years I did high school, so, yep, been around a long time.
Jay, we appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. Good luck. Enjoy the day.
Okay, guys. Thanks for having me on.
There is Jay Drew. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, what is trending? The headlines are next.
We all have routines. I'm Jabron, and with diabetes, mine was finger sticks. Sometimes I skip them because they hurt. The Freestyle Libre 3CGM changed that. It gives me glucose insights without finger sticks. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
Finger sticks are required if your glucose alarms or readings do not match symptoms, or when you see check blood glucose symbol for the first 12 hours. The views expressed should not be used for medical diagnosis or treatment as a substitute for professional medical advice. Individual circumstances may vary. For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.